Hello everyone. In HTML, elements can be categorized as block level or inline level elements based on how they are displayed and how they interact with other elements on the page. Firstly, we are going to take a look at about block level elements. Now, the block level elements start on a new line and occupy the full width of the parent. Now, for example, there are multiple type of block level elements. Those are div. You might already know that this div, and there are p tag. P tag is also uses block level, and h1 tag to h5 tag. There are h1, h2, h3, and so on. And also ul, li, and section tags are also block level elements. Okay, now block level elements can be changed into inline elements by adding some css. Now that's fine. What's about inline level elements? Now, inline level elements do not start on a new line and only occupy the necessary width to fit their content. Examples of inline level elements include span, this span, and anchor tag, this one, and then strong tag, em tag, this one, em, and image tag, img. Okay, the input tag is also a inline element. All right, now we are going to take a look at for a example. I'm going to just say a div here. Div is a block level element. So inside this I'm going to declare an span. Okay, so this span is a inline element. Inside this I'm going to type some lorem ipsum okay. Now after that I'm going to add the div below of the span. Inside the div I'm going to say em, which is the inline element, itham at audio surface. Now I'm going to close the em tag, and finally the tag is span. Span is also a inline element. Now I'm going to say the last one here. Then let's see and take a look at to the example. Here, as you can see, we have lorem ipsum text, but the next line is starting as a new line, because when we add this div tag after some tag here, for example we had the span tag, but this div tag is trying to access the whole width of the screen, so that's why it is being added to a new line. If we remove this div tag, the block level element, then here we can see it is in the same line, but as we are adding the div tag, it is creating a block level element. It is taking the full width of the screen. As I told you, we can change these elements into a block level or inline level element using CSS. So what I can do, just add a new CSS file. I'm going to call that as style.css, and in the index.html above the body tag I am going to declare the head, and I will say the link rel equals to style sheet, and finally the href equals to our style sheet style dot css. Okay, now here we are going to change this block level element, which is the div id, into some id like a middle one, let's say middle. Now in the style.css I'm going to say hash, we are taking the id of it middle, and we are going to use the display option. Now currently it was a block level element, I'm going to say inline. Now we can open the page. Here our full context is in a one line. That because we change our block level element into a inline element here. Now instead the inline we can say block. Now here it is created a new line because this one, this etm is in a block level element, which is the div, and if it is in the block state it will take a new line. Once we change that into inline, it will be something like this. It is not taking the whole width of the screen. Okay, now what I can do, just change this span into another div, and let me go ahead and show you. Here it is created a new line because it is asking the full width of the screen. Now I'm going to say id for this span equals to my span, then in the style.css I'm going to say the id my span, I will say display as block. Now when we run again, here it is created a new line because these block level elements are taking the full width of the screen. We change that inline element, the span is an inline element, into a block line element using the CSS. Here I am going to change that into inline again, then it is in the same line. Okay, now in block level elements, those are can taking their width, height, margins and paddings adjusted using the CSS, while in the inline elements the width, height, margins or paddings adjusted directly, they will adjust automatically based on the content they contain. Okay, there is another one called inline block. It is a CSS display. Okay, there is another one called inline block. It is a CSS display property value that combines aspect of block level and the inline level elements. It allows elements to be displayed inline like inline level elements while still retaining some block level properties such as width, height and the vertical alignment.